There's 500 days of summer vacation, and this intro comes along just to ruin it. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to 500 Days of Summer. No idea what this is. But this is the first reaction of our end of the month movie week. So yeah, we're here for another movie week. For those who don't know, at the end of every month, the last week, we do an entire week of movies. We normally have movies every Saturday and Sunday, but at the end of the month, we have an entire week dedicated to movie reactions. Monday through Friday, 5 movies instead of 2 on the weekend. That does mean that there will be no movie reactions on Saturday and Sunday. It's just Monday through Friday this week. But our theme for this month is love, romance films. And you may be wondering, wouldn't that make more sense as a February one? It's like, yeah, maybe, but we weren't doing this in February. But I also think love is kind of a topical theme to touch on in June as well because of Pride Month. Love is obviously very important towards Pride, and not just obviously romantic love, but love in general. Now, for this week, we will be focusing on romance films, and I'm just going to say right off the bat, even though it is Pride Month, they're probably going to all be, very straight. But we already did have a Pride special during this month. We had a few different reactions for that. So if you want to check those out, just check them out on the channel. You could just search for Pride 2025. All the videos are labeled under such in the title. Pretty easy to find. So we have plenty of Pride stuff on the channel from this year and previous years as well already. But yeah, this week we're just going to be focusing on romance films, and we're going to be like touching on some pretty big ones that I've just never seen. And this is one of them. 500 Days of Summer is a movie that I have heard people mention a lot as one of the kind of bigger romance films. It's not like one of the biggest ones necessarily, but again, I've never seen it. I don't know who's in this. I'm not even 100% sure when this came out. I think it was in the 90s. And I don't know, like, exactly what the title is referring to. Like, you saw my cold open. It obviously made me think Phineas and Ferb. But 500 Days of Summer, it's like, there's not 500 days in the summer. Unless it's, like, taking place over multiple years, multiple summers, that could be it. Otherwise, I don't really know. I don't know what to expect in terms of any of that. I assume it's going to be a summer film. And I know it's going to be a romance film. And that's pretty much all I have to go off of. But I thought, nonetheless, this would be a fine way to start things out. A movie that I, like, pretty much know nothing about. But have heard mentioned a lot. So I guess we should just get into this. But just as one more note before we begin, I will be announcing what the July theme will be, but only at the very end of this week. In the final movie reaction we do on Friday this week, I will announce after that, after the afterthoughts and everything, at the end of the redirect video, I will announce what the July theme will be. But we will get to that when we get to that. For now, let's just focus on this movie and see what this is all about. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I wanted to look up briefly what other people thought of this. I didn't look too much into it. But apparently this movie has mostly positive reviews. But there has apparently been a very long ongoing narrative and debate over who was in the wrong or more in the wrong, Tom or Summer. Which one of them was the bad guy, which was the good guy, who was the reason for all the bad happening in the relationship, etc., etc. And apparently, like, the actors, the director, the writer, everyone has kind of weighed in on this. Obviously, a lot of fans have. Again, I didn't look too deeply into everything, because I just want to give my thoughts on this. And my thoughts on this, I kind of said in the movie, but to basically put it simply, both of them suck. The movie, like, the narrator says at the beginning, like, this isn't a romance movie. And it's like, yeah, you're kind of right. It's kind of an anti-romance movie. Because, my God, fuck both these people. Like, the thing is, Summer is unquestionably worse. But that is not to discount the bad of Tom either. Tom, it has these expectations of Summer that are unfair on her. On top of that, he is childishly, like, emotional to the point of like smashing plates, throwing fits, yelling at others, having breakdowns at others whenever he doesn't get his way or anything goes wrong in this relationship. He basically, anytime something bad happens to him, he makes it everybody else's problems. And it's really fucked up. He's immature, he's ridiculous. And I'm not like talking about like, oh, he gets drunk sometimes and becomes like a bit of a crazy person. No, I'm talking like just when he's sober and shit. He's not exactly great. He's not exactly the best person here. But Summer is so much worse. Summer is so actively manipulative. And the movie says, and apparently, like, I saw some other people were saying, it's like, oh, but she was upfront about what she did or did not want in this relationship. Okay, yeah, she was. But then she did everything in her power to go against that and lead him on. She entirely led him on the entire time, making him believe he was going to, that basically that they were together, that they were boyfriend and girlfriend. And in the end, she ended up meeting, dating, becoming engaged to, and marrying someone in less than 2 years. You have to remember, 500 days in total is less than 2 years, but this was in even less time because of how long we know their relationship was into those 500 days. Thing is, Summer is shown throughout this film to be like kind of indecisive and just kind of like flitting around, just doing whatever, not really committing to anything and just kind of wanting to float around life, basically. And so it's like, yeah, that's kind of her personality, and she was, again, upfront about that, but she led him on, she manipulated him. After, like, they had the entire big argument about, like, what happened with the guy at the bar and everything, it's like she comes to apologize and then just starts kissing him and, oh, it's all better now. It's like, fuck you. No, you do not do that. That is such egregiously emotionally manipulative. And then at the end, to say, I just knew when I was with him. It's like, you were right about love, you just weren't right about me. It's like, fuck off. You were dating Tom, and yes, you were dating, deal with it, longer than you've known this other guy that you married. And and again, it tries to act like Tom's entire meltdown at the green card company was like some kind of like big, great moment where he like finally realizes how he feels about this all, and it's like just because of like the idea that oh he's always wanted to be an architect and everything, he's better at that, and it's like that was not some triumphant moment. Kind of the opposite. He had a meltdown because he can't handle his emotions well. He was just being shitty and dumb because he's shitty and dumb. It's so ridiculous. And then at the end we're like supposed to be happy that he's moved on, that he started to like pursue his passion of architecture, and he found a woman who, you know, shares more of his interests, is more aligned with him and everything. And oh, her name is Autumn. The summer has passed. It's wild to me that this movie is reviewed so well. That this has that it's so well received. Cuz I really didn't like this. And it's not just because it wasn't like a classic romance, or it wasn't, you know, cutesy or whatnot. It's like I hate both of the main characters. And again, I want to make very clear this is nothing against Joseph Gordon-Levitt or Zoe Deschanel. Both of them are great actors. Both of them did a great job. I just think it's about the writing and the dialogue and everything. The characters, or I can't speak. Sorry. I hate the characters. I don't hate the actors. I will never put that on the actors. That's not fair. That's not right. That's just kind of fucked up. Want to make that very clear here. Um, I'm fine with the way this was like formatted, with like the 500 days and kind of going back and forth told in a nonlinear order. I actually like that. I thought that was a really creative, neat idea, and it kind of reminds me of God, what is it called? Oh my God, I can't think of the name of the game. It's a game we did over on the gaming channel that I really loved, with Willem Dafoe video game. Has Willem Dafoe in it and whatnot. Beyond Two Souls. Yes, 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 yes. Beyond Two Souls. Um, really, really fantastic game. Really loved it. Elliot Page was also the star of it, and apparently his company is going to be making a live action adaptation, which is interesting. But neither here nor there. The point is, it kind of reminded me of that in terms of its non-linear presentation, because Beyond Two Souls was also non-linear. It went back and forth throughout the story. And so I actually really like that. Um, that was never an issue for me. I wasn't having too much of an issue keeping up. I think the only issue I would have had with that is remembering what happened on each specific day. But I mean, I don't think you're supposed to be able to keep up to that degree. Um, but yeah, it's just this is obviously meant to be like a kind of a flip on the love movie genre. It's very clearly trying to be, I guess, quote unquote, more realistic and more like honest about love and everything, and how love can like, or our two people can believe that they're in love but not necessarily actually be in love. There can be little things that can like just hurt their relationship or make things not work, or you can have two people who, you know, just don't blend together as well as they would think. And it's very clear, it's like, oh, it's trying to tell us like, oh, he liked her because she's very pretty, and she was into him because he was kind of funny and interesting to her, and they didn't really mesh. They were too different and everything. Their personalities, their interests, their nothing was quite aligning. But it's like this kind of idea can work if you make the characters likable to any degree. The problem is neither character is likable. I can't stand either of them. And so it's like, who am I supposed to be cheering for here? Because I'm not cheering for either of them. In the end, honestly, I feel bad for Autumn because I feel like he's probably not going to be great for her. That's just based off of what the movie is telling me. Like, I don't think he needs to work on himself before he can be in a relationship with anyone. And honestly, the same with her. Like, if you told me, like, 2 days after they last talked to each other in the park, she ended up divorcing her husband, I would not. In fact, I would honestly say it took that long, because she's so indecisive, so flitty and everything. She flits around in the wind. It's like she can't stick with anything. She can't make a decision. She can't, like, figure anything out. She's so erratic. And it's like she would absolutely divorce her husband in a heartbeat just because she felt like it. It's like, I'm so confused by this movie, because it's like, okay, you're trying to make it's not meant to be a love story. It's actually kind of the opposite. It's showing that these two aren't right for each other. I get it. I understand what that's going for there. But again, did not work because you made both of the characters super unlikable. They're both kind of terrible people who don't really deserve a happy ending based on their actions and words and etc., etc. It's like, this isn't a case of like, oh, they just weren't right for each other and should go find out their happiness otherwise. No. They were just not good people who really shouldn't be dating right now until they figure themselves out and better themselves. It's teaching the wrong message. And yeah, it's like, clearly it's trying to, like, paint this nuanced picture. Like, the intent is very clearly, it's like, oh, we have two people who are, trying to figure themselves out, who are not necessarily, like, the most well put together. They're complicated, they're messy, they're nuanced, but we're seeing how their relationship goes and how it doesn't work out and everything that comes from that and leads to that, and et cetera, et cetera. But while the idea is fine, it's like, again, you make the characters out to be unlikable, especially Summer. It kind of muddies your point of, like, trying to just make it be nuanced. Because after a point, it's not nuanced. They're just not good people. I don't feel bad for either of them, for what they went through. I don't think either of them, like, really deserved each other. And I don't know how else to put this. Besides that, I just, by the end, really just, honestly, was not enjoying this film. There's some funny parts to it, I guess. There's some entertaining parts, but it's so few and far between when so much of it is just actively irritating to me. So much of it just bothers me on such a, like, deep, visceral level. And I'm not saying that people have to be like this perfectly sanitized type of person to be worthy of love or anything, because no one's perfectly sanitized. Like, yes, nuance does exist, but this is not just nuance. Again, if that's what you're trying to convey here, you just failed at conveying that. Honestly, you want a movie where a romance film where characters do some negative stuff, but it shows it in a more nuanced way to where it's like, oh, yeah, like this character does this bad thing and it's really kind of messed up when you think about it, but it's not like this is a bad person and you can clearly see it was just like a stupid thing that they did. And other than like that moment, it's like the relationship is built on, you know, positive notes and ideas, and there's actually it's not toxic as fuck and stuff like that. You want a movie where it's like much better handled, that showcases characters having nuance with each other? The Notebook. It's like, yeah, some of the stuff the guy, I cannot remember names, but some of the stuff the guy does in that, not great. Not great at all. The entire Ferris wheel scene comes to mind. But there's a lot more nuance into that actually makes it, you know, not just more believable, but more respectable. It's not as like egregiously like unenjoyable and unlikable. The characters are definitely not unlikable in the Notebook. You actually really enjoy them and like them, and you believe their romance and their relationship is believable in the path it's going. And again, you want another example? Forrest fucking Gump. I know a lot of people like to hate on Jenny, but it's wild, especially if people hate on Jenny in Forrest Gump, but then try to like excuse Summer in this. Anyone who does that, like, fuck off with that shit. Jenny, Jenny and Forrest, like, that's complicated. That's nuanced. That's like something where it's like, oh, they're probably not that great for each other. Sure. And it's not like a super healthy relationship, but neither of them are horrible, unlikable people. It's like here, that's not the case. Like Jenny does some bad things to Forrest and is not exactly like fair to him. But she also does so much good, and also, let's be honest, a lot of her worst stuff, which yes is still bad, does come from a lot of the trauma from her father and everything, which again does not excuse her actions. When she does some bad things, that's not excused by her circumstances. But it does explain it in a way that at least makes it reasonable for her to act that way. But the movie also doesn't try to make it act like she's okay for doing what she did. No, it never tries to like excuse her actions like that. It just shows her grow from them. It shows her go from being someone who makes stupid mistakes and does bad things, and it shows her like reach a point where she's in a lot better of a place too. Here you just have an asshole manipulator who, let's be honest, learns nothing. Learns nothing, goes through nothing, no kind of character development by the end. Just as terrible. There's no reason to believe there's anything that's changed. Hell, you could even say at the end there, where they're sitting on the bench, when she like holds his hand there, that's again going back into her manipulating him. It's like she's married, their relationship is full on over, and then she's just like suddenly grabbing at his hand and like it's like, no, ma'am, no. It's just like, you can't even use the excuse that she was upfront about what she had, like, in terms of expectations for this relationship, because she led him on so much. Like, oh, I don't want a boyfriend, and then she just completely acts like she wants a boyfriend at every turn. I'm not looking for anything serious. Sex in the shower, making out in public and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, you're totally not acting like you want anything serious here. And more than that, obviously, it's like, obviously sex can be less serious and more just for sex and all. But still, that's, he even points out her hypocrisy with that. Like, oh my god. It's just so intensely ridiculous. And I think the idea is that, like, at the end when you see like him, following his actual dream, and like she's moved on and everything, you're supposed to be happy for them, like their lives are getting better. She's discovered what love is. He's following his dreams. But it's like, there, you don't get this positive feel from this ending, like, is clearly intentional. Again, she made a decision based on like practically no time at all. She just married a guy she's barely known, just continuing to just, flitter around, just making decisions on the spur of the moment without any thought being put into them. And he's like he comes to this entire situation with like following his dream and stuff after this massive meltdown, this massive pride driven meltdown, this emotional breakdown, like caused by his, immaturity and inability to properly handle any situation he's in. And you're supposed to see that as like, oh, some kind of great moment, and now he's gonna follow his dreams now that he's quit the greeting card business. It's like, no, this is not a happy ending for him. And trying to like paint it like, oh, he finally finds a girl who's more like meant for him and stuff, and it's like, oh, there's no miracles, there's only coincidences, and she just happens to frequent the same bar as him. She just happens to also be super into architecture. It's like, oh, it's so nice. He's finally found someone who's more like aligned with him, and it's like, we have no reason to be cheering for him right now. Listen, this movie is officially designated as a romantic comedy, and it's like it makes a point of being like an anti-romantic comedy. And it's very clear, like, kind of the entire point behind this is to make this statement, to try and like make this nuanced take on things, but it fails in every respect in my eyes. It's not fun to watch. It has a great concept with, again, the unsynced timeline and everything. But it's like, as fine as that is, as good as that idea is, just everything else just made me just so actively dislike this film. And I think the biggest thing is, like, more than anything else, I just wasn't enjoying it. Like, a lot of people like to try and like delve into all the intricacies of a movie and try to nitpick little things here and there. Oh, this is why I like this, or this is why I didn't like that. this aspect of the movie was really well done for this, and this reason. It's like sometimes it's just about enjoyment. Sometimes, like, a movie can be well done, but if you're not enjoying it, it doesn't matter how technically well made it is. Like, a movie can have extremely good camera work and effects and direction and whatnot. But if the movie bores the shit out of you, you're not going to say it's a good movie. Because to you, it was not a good movie. It wasn't a good experience. And that's what this was kind of for me. Like, I'm not saying the movie was poorly made, although I do think the writing and character writing specifically was not great with these two. Also, by the way, I kind of mentioned this in the reaction as well. A lot of cringe. So much cringe. There's a lot of the stuff in here, both like the stuff that you're supposed to be like, aw, over, or the stuff you're supposed to be like, ugh, over. It's like a lot of it is just very cringy and hard to sit through. And it's like, even the stuff that's not really supposed to be as cringy, it's like there's a lot of dialogue that just doesn't work because of this. There's a lot of character moments, a lot of the cuter, nicer stuff, a lot of the worse stuff. It's like, it's just, it feels like it's supposed to be cringy on purpose, but it's just cringy. And it's like, even if it's on purpose, it's like, it's hard to do like intentional cringe and make it like enjoyable to watch, because it has to be done in a very specific way to where it's not just cringe, you know? Because if it's just cringe, it's like you're not going to be able to enjoy that. But like, you watch the Barbie movie and it's like, oh yeah, that's cringe in a good way because it's mocking itself with it. The entire intent is that it's supposed to be cringy because it's making fun of itself. And you're in on the joke the entire time. You're never meant to take it seriously. That's why it works. And then when it does hit you with like a really emotional or powerful moment with like, you know, good themes and ideas and all, it's like that's just a bonus at that point. An unexpected bonus. But this just doesn't seem to get how to do that. Because it's just cringy. It's not enjoyably cringy. It's not cringy in a way to where it's like, oh, this is like a big joke. It's mocking itself. No, it's just cringy. And it just doesn't, in my opinion, work. And if you like this movie, that's great. Like, I'm not going to tell you you can't like this movie. You're allowed to like whatever you want, and you're allowed to have different opinions than me. I'm just sharing my opinion. I didn't like this pretty much at all by the end. I was so annoyed with it, and so annoyed with the characters, that it's one of those movies I do not think I will ever rewatch. I really don't. Because it's one of those cases where I feel like rewatching it would get me actually angrier. And I don't want to go through, like, I don't like experiencing negative emotion. I don't want to watch this movie and experience negative emotion by rewatching it. Because I didn't like it. You know what I mean? I don't want to get angry or upset rewatching this film. I just don't want to go through that. So, all of that being said, I guess I get what they were trying to do here. I just don't think they succeeded, personally. And I didn't enjoy this experience. I thought the actors did a good job. I'm not hating on them. It's not their fault. I just don't think the writing and character work was up to snuff. And I mean, in the end, this just clearly isn't for me. But that happens. Just like with any movie we react to on the channel or any show or just anything, sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes I just can't get into something. Sometimes I don't like something that I react to. It happens. Like there's not going to be like perfection in this kind of content. I'm not going to just love everything I watch. And I'm not going to only choose to watch things that I know I will love, because that's boring, honestly. I feel like more reactors should watch things that they're not enjoying or that they don't enjoy and be willing to put those up, whether they're movies or shows or whatnot. And you may be saying like, oh, but why would you want to watch a reaction when it's clear that the person reacting isn't enjoying it? Why would you want to watch their reaction when it's just going to be negative the whole time? And yeah, I get what you're saying. Same thing goes for Let's Plays as well, not just reactions, but yeah. It's not that I want to watch a person be negative the entire time in their reaction. It's just that I want honesty with a lot more of these reactors. And I'm not trying to hate on any reactors. I want to make that very clear. I watch a lot of these reactors myself, and I love so many of them. I'm not trying to hate on them. I want to make that very clear. But I feel like there's just so many reactors out there who will only even check out things that they're interested in right off the bat. Like, oh, this is a series that I'm very interested in, so I'm going to check it out. And or this is a series that's getting a lot of attention, and so that makes me automatically interested in it just because of that. And so I'm going to check it out, even if I might not have like a lot of other interest in it. It's like, you should make decisions based on what you are interested in, yes, to a degree. But you should also be willing to check out things that you know nothing about. You should be willing to check out things that you're completely blind on. And I make a point of doing that. I make a point of reacting to a lot of things that I don't know about. And that's why I leave it up to a lot of times donation rewards, because you guys suggest movies that in some cases I've never heard of, like to any degree. And sometimes those are foreign films. Sometimes those are like just really crazy, over the top, just upsetting films. Sometimes they're just movies that are like were never popular, never made a big splash, and so I would have never heard of them because of that. And sometimes those movies can end up being some of the most surprising to me. Sometimes those movies can end up being really good. And I don't have like an expectation that I'm going to like it ahead of time. I don't have like this expectation that it's something that's like my kind of thing, so I'm going to be into it. And I'm willing to check out things that I probably wouldn't be into normally. I basically say it pretty often enough, where it's like I am good to react to pretty much anything. Doesn't matter what genre it is, doesn't matter what year it came out, doesn't matter any of that stuff. And it's because I don't know how I'm going to feel about it most of the time. Even if a movie looks like it would be good, or sounds like it would be good, or has actors I like in it, it's like I don't necessarily know if I'm going to end up liking that. I could look at a movie and it's like, oh, this seems like it'd be right up my alley, and end up hating it. I could see a movie and it's like, oh, this doesn't seem like it'd be interesting to me. Someone requests that, I end up watching it, and it's like, oh, this is phenomenal. I love this. And so I just kind of want to take it more honestly. And if I don't like something, I'm going to actively say I don't like it. And that's why I drop as many shows as I do. Because there's a lot of stuff I don't like, and I'm not going to force myself to sit through it all. I'm not going to force myself to watch the entire series, even if I'm not enjoying it. If I'm not enjoying it, I'm more than likely going to drop it. And the only reason I don't drop movies is because it's a single sitting thing. It's like I'm just going to finish it at this point. It would take a really crazy movie that I really hated for me to drop it in the middle of it. I say that now. It's like it would have to be like either crazy offensive to me or like just extremely upsetting to a point where I can't watch anymore. And weirdly enough, that hasn't happened yet. And I say weirdly enough because I've reacted to some pretty crazy shit. But it's like, it's never been like past that line for me to where it's like, this is something that I genuinely cannot continue watching or it's going to bother me outside of like shows. I'm talking like a movie. Because again, movies are single sitting things. You watch it, you finish it. If you don't like it, you never have to watch it again. Which, like I said, is probably going to be the case for this film. But like with a show, it's like you have to get through a bunch more episodes. And at that point, it's just like weeks and weeks and weeks more of recording and everything to get through it all. It's a lot harder to do. For me, at least. But yeah, either way, I kind of gone into this entire rant here. Point is, I didn't like this movie. It was not enjoyable to me. I didn't like the characters. While it had a great concept, I don't think it was well executed enough to take away from my issues with it. I kind of want to just move on from this one. But that can happen. Like I said, this is the first of the romance movie week for this week. Just like the others, we are going to keep the remaining movies secret. So I'm not going to announce what the other movies for this movie week are going to be yet. You're just going to have to wait until they come up to find out. And like I said, on Friday's movie reaction, the last one, at the end of the afterthoughts, we will be announcing what the July theme will be for July's movie week. So be prepared for that. For the time being, though, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts on this movie down below, especially and even if you disagree with me. I want to hear dissenting opinions. I am all good with that. I make that very clear. You don't have to believe the same things I do. I don't want you to, honestly, because that's kind of weird because humans shouldn't just be copies of each other. We should all have our own thoughts, our own feelings, our own opinions, especially when it comes to something as subjective as movies and shows and music and video games and stuff. So, yeah. Either way, let me know your thoughts, and thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.